Hello, my gorgeous humans. How are we? And welcome back to the Kegs podcast. In today's episode, we have my good friend Cici Coleman. So I met Cici out here in Bali, and she is a funny bitch. Like, the conversations flowed. Me and her went on so many spiritual adventures together, and we just had a great time. So I was like, you know what? Cici's got an amazing story. So I was like, I need to get her on the podcast. She's filled with knowledge as well. So I was like, I'm going to get her on for the crack, for the bants, and we'll talk about a few different topics. So if you don't know Cici was actually the waitress on First Dates. You'll probably recognize her whenever you see her in the video. You always see her on TikTok, like the wee first dates. Like, you know when you see the people on their first dates and then you see Cici just being the waitress? Like, that's her. She's good crack, she's good banter. So went on, talk about all that there. And then we touched on the sort of spiritual things and the mindset sort of things. And then we go into her sort of rock bottom and how she's went from rock bottom to feeling the best she's probably ever felt here in Bali through all the spiritual activities and the spiritual journey that she's been on. So I'm very excited for you to hear this episode because it's fucking amazing. Also, guys, can you all do me a massive favor and please hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. It'll honestly help me so much, more than you know. So yeah, I really do appreciate that. Also, if you want, you can leave a wee comment, leave a wee like, whatever you need to do. Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. Love you lots. So as you all know, this podcast is sponsored by the Breathwork meditation course by Sinead Hegarty, and I absolutely love working with this brand just because it really aligns with me and the messages that I'm trying to get across. Because as you all know, I love meditating, I love breathwork, I love doing all that. They're good sort of spiritual things that are good for your mind, body and soul. But I really struggled to get into meditation at the start, and it wasn't until I actually done Sinead's 21-day course when I got in an actual routine of meditating. And like, you just go on this beautiful journey, and the reviews that I've seen from the people who've done this course, they literally say it is life-changing. So if you want to get your hands on the course, all you have to do is type in Kegs10 whenever you're checking out on the website, which I'll put in the description, and that'll give you 10% off the entire course. I would highly recommend it for you, for a friend, for a family member, for anyone, because everyone benefits from meditating. Everyone who meditates just raves at how beneficial it is, and you'll actually hear about this in this podcast about meditating because it's fucking game changing. Like, we all need to meditate. Like, if we all meditated, the world would be such an amazing place.
We are here on the Kegs podcast. We hope you enjoy the show. Yeah.
Is this been filmed as well?
Yeah.
Is that the camera?
It's the camera. We're going on YouTube / TikTok / Insta.
Oh shit, I would have put a bit more makeup on. I've got none on.
Fuck it. Hello and welcome back to the Kegs podcast. And today's episode, I've got my good friend here in Bali, Cici Coleman. How are we?
I'm very good, thank you. I feel a little bit excited, which is why I'm doing these hand
Ready to rock? You just missed us 2 seconds ago. We were like, oh, we're a bit tired, so we started doing some star jumps, bouncing around the place. I was like, yes, let's give me energy.
Always away.
I love it. So, Cici, what is the crack?
I love this question. What is the crack? Well, so when you say what is the crack, you mean like what's happening, right?
Yeah.
What's going on? Well, I'm living my best life at the moment in Bali.
I love
I've
it.
been here 4 months, and I am in one of the best spaces mentally that I've been in for a very long time.
Yes, that's so nice to hear. I love it. I know I've been loving like watching your journey here as well. Like, it's been nice to watch.
Thank you.
Feeling the gratitude and the good vibes all the time.
Oh, all day, every day, yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? So tell us a bit about yourself for those who may not know you. I know that's a sort of a broad question, but
So, my name's Cici Coleman. So I used to do, I still do a TV show called First Dates, which is kind of what put me on the scene, if you will. I had no Instagram, I had no Twitter, I had none of those, anything social until I went on the show. And then I was like, oh my God, what is this about? And then I started seeing some followers grow on Instagram. I was like, oh God, this is getting really scary. More scary than actually being on TV, because I feel like it's more personal on Instagram. Anyway, I've been doing that for 8 years.
is that how long it's been? 8 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
8 goddamn years. And yeah, loving it. It came to a bit of a hold when we got into lockdown, because everything, we went from like filming 3 times a year to once. So it's been like this, but now I'm like ready again because I feel really good in myself. I'm like ready to like keep going and just keep doing more work and working TV and everything in between.
I love it. I know I didn't even clock. We were like friends before I even clocked on that you're the same person for First Dates, because we went on the mountain climbing and all. And I was like, oh, she's class, she's good vibes. And then it wasn't until like a couple of days later someone mentioned it, and then I just put together. I was like, no way.
This happens all the time because people say to me, they're like, I know you, or you look like someone I know. And I'm like, I look like everyone's sister. Because I do. I look like everyone's sister. Everyone's got a sister that looks like me. And they're like, oh, that's what it is. And then they clock on a bit later.
Yeah, I love it. So before First Dates, that was 8 years ago now. That's mad. That's been that long. What were you sort of doing? You grew up in London, did you?
I grew up in Oxford, a little town.
Nice.
Moved to London when I was 22, 23. And then loved London, fell in love with it completely, like worked really, really hard in a bank. And then I wanted to move to New York. So I was like, right, how do I make this work? So I got 3 other jobs, four jobs in total. So moved to New York.
You had 4 jobs at once?
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
That's how. I did not have a social life. So for 9 months, I was just back-to-backing, like all weekend, all day, all night, trying to make enough money to go to this school that I was desperate to get into. And then ended up, getting a scholarship to the school.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, which meant I had a bit more money to stay a little longer in New York.
Nice.
So I was there for 3 years and then came back to London, was like Billy Big Bollocks. My head was too big for my own body. I honestly thought I was the shit because I was like, I've lived in New York. I went to acting school. I'm amazing. And then...
Was that what you done acting school?
I went to acting school there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you do there?
I did a year's worth of film acting.
Nice.
Then I started to work in film in New York. But that's what gave me this confidence. I say confidence in inverted commas because I got a bit cocky because I kept getting work, basically because I'm British. Okay. Nothing to do with talent. They just love the British accent out there. So when I came back to England, I got hit really hard with agencies just not giving a shit, not caring about any of my credentials, any of my 3 years of training. They really, really knocked me down. So I started waitressing. I was like, well, what does every actor do? They go make waitress. So started doing that in London in a lovely place called Balance, which is a 24-hour restaurant. And
24 hours?
24-hour restaurant, yeah.
Flipping hell.
I was working, it was hard. Like, you can imagine what walks in at 4 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
All the trash. And
Yeah.
Then,
You see some sights.
Oh, honey, I'm either the sight or I'm seeing the sight.
You're one or the other. Yeah. Love it.
So, yeah, did that. Was doing that for a very long time. And then a year into being there, Channel 4 came in and they were casting for this show, First Dates, which I hadn't seen. Didn't know who these guys were. We just had a really good crack.
So did the show exist before you went on it?
Yeah, apparently there was 2 seasons before they introduced featured waitresses waitresses. So they came in, served the table. They were brilliant, really fun. And then halfway through their meal, they were like, "Oh, by the way, we're from Channel 4. We're casting for this show." And I was like, "Yeah, of course you are. And I'm an actress." And they were like, "Oh my God, you're an actress! Hold on, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Hold on. Are you really from Channel 4? And they're like, "Hold on, are you really an actress?" And I was like, "Okay, I can't comprehend what's going on right now. Is this for real? Let me see your business cards." So I asked them all for their business cards, and they were actually from.
I love it.
Yeah. And then they said, "Can you come and have a chat with us?" And I did the next day, and it was all like taped. I guess it was like a semi-audition. And then they were like, "You got the job." And I was like, "What's the job? I don't get it. What am I going to be doing?" And they were like, "Doing what you do in your day life. You're serving food." And I was like, "Right, okay. Where's my script?" And they were like, "No, it's not script. Like, you'll just be you."
Okay.
So then, yeah. And then
but do you think the acting experience helped you on the show?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Because when you see a camera, like if you've never had a camera in your face before, it's quite scary.
It takes you a while to get used to. Like even myself, like trying to do YouTubes and people, I've seen whenever I'm recording myself, fine, can flow, can talk away.
Yeah.
See when I give my camera to one of my mates and I'm trying to speak, I fucking stutter a million times.
Yeah.
Like blah, blah, blah.
Even like pictures, when someone says, "Can I take a picture of you?" Or, please take a picture of me. And then you don't know how to stand and it just used to feel awkward. So I think I probably would have been more that way if I hadn't done my actor training. So it really, really did help. And then, I carried on waitressing for another 4 years. And then eventually I left. So I've been, 3-4 years out of waitressing.
Okay. And so were you doing the TV show whilst working as a waitress as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that must have been
on
mad.
screen and off screen, yeah.
What were you serving people and they're like, "Oh, were you on that show?"
Yeah. It was like, at first I was just a bit overwhelmed by it. I didn't really know, because no one prepares you for working TV. No one says like, "This is what will happen," or "This is what you do."
Yeah.
So when people come over and they're like, "Oh my God, can I have a picture of you?" You're like, "Why?
Why? What do you want?
Why do you want a picture? Like, what the fuck? No, not a fucking picture of me." And they're like, "Yeah, but you're the girl from TV." And I'm like, "Oh, I get it now. Okay, yeah."
I love it. So you were saying you went to sort of New York, you went to acting school and you're getting loads of work, but you said your ego sort of filled your ego with the stuff, but when you came home, it sort of knocked you back down to planet Earth.
basically, I got an agent. Well, an agent came into the place I was working, and he said, "Come and have an interview with me." And when I walked in, he was like, "So, what's this hair?" My hair was like medium length, and he was like, "Is it short? Is it long? Like, what is it?" And I was like, "We don't know. It's just hair." And he's like, "Can you put it up?" So I put it up, and he's like, "You're pretty, but you're not that pretty." And he was like, "What's this name? This Cici?" And I was like,
Oh my God.
"Wow." I was like, it's Cici. And he's like, "What's your actual name? Like, what's your birth name?" And I was like, "I was born as Lucy." And he was like, "Oh, that's much better." He was like, "Can we just remove this Cici?" I was like, "It's still Cici, but fine. I'll forget what my sister used to call me as a kid." So it was really raw and really hurtful. But at the same time, I did need a little bit of humbling because I'd been away and my ego got in the way. I didn't even know what ego was then. I was just like, everyone else has an ego, but I didn't know what an ego was. So I would put the blame on everyone but myself. So I needed to be hit hard. And that's probably why I kind of stayed as a waitress off screen for such a long time, because I wanted to make sure that I hadn't got too big for my boots. Yeah. I wanted to stay like, maybe my ego wants to stay humble. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
that's a good way. That's a good, you had the sort of awareness of it as well.
Yeah, I had to. Otherwise, I'd just be a dick.
Yeah,
like I'm a bit of a dick anyway, but you know, I'm like a massive dick.
You're not a dick. Honestly, she's definitely not a dick. Trust me. No, that's class. And so you were on the show for 8 years, and how many waitresses and stuff were there?
We've had a few. So it was 2 of us at the start, and then we've kind of shifted around a little bit. And now there is 4 of us.
4?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, great team.
I'm gonna have a wee coconut sip.
I'm having a coconut sip then. You're doing it. I'm doing it.
I've got ourselves some coconuts because fuck it, we're in Bali.
So heavy.
They are heavy, aren't they? I'm actually shocked at how much like liquid is inside the coconuts. You never actually think that, don't you know?
No, you don't actually. But then electrolytes, hydration, you know.
Or do they fill the coconuts up, or is it actually inside the coconuts when they're growing?
That's an actual coconut with actual coconut water. There's like, I hope there's no added stuff in there. Maybe it's just water.
There might be, like, you never know. So you were on the show with 4 other people, and you're being yourself. You know what I actually think I seen you mostly was on, like, you see it on social media where they have like small clips. Yeah, most people have seen the clips. I think because that's where we're at now. Yeah. Like, rarely do we watch TV. We go on Netflix, or we just open our laptops, so you watch YouTube. So that's probably, where you would have seen bits and pieces from the show. I seen a news article, and we seen a news article the other day, right? And obviously you were rushed to hospital in this crazy news article.
Oh, tragic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely... This is the stuff that I can't get my head around. Like, I feel like I live my life for me, and that's it. And then it gets shared on social media. My friends love seeing my updates. My family loves seeing it. I forget that there's other people in the world watching my stuff. So I'd put up something. I got barley belly. Everyone gets barley belly, and I was on a drip, and I chose to go and get this drip, by the way, because it hydrates you. Basically, restores all the stuff that you've lost when you are going to the toilet a lot. So I put this on social media, and next thing, day after, Daily Mail, God bless them, love you sometimes, had put
sometimes.
Put this story up saying that, I'd been rushed to hospital and I'm on a drip, and basically that I'd been hospitalised because of this barley belly. So then the next thing, I'm getting messages from my family, my friends saying like, "Oh my God, you okay? Like, do we need to fly out?" And I'm like, "Guys, I'm fine. Like, I'm on Gili Tea," which is an island, and it's amazing. Like, living my best life. Like, I just chose to get a drip. But that's what you get with, that's the extension of when you work in a job that is televised. You do have to, sometimes think about what might be shared.
It's mad what they pick out just to make like crazy stories. Like, obviously my hair transplant thing went viral, and they made this whole the whole story is about my hair transplant, but they took out one wee small part of it where you're not allowed to have sex for 7 days after having a hair transplant, and they put that in all the headlines and all the papers. It was like, man banned from sex for a full month because of hair transplant, like man forced to go celibate because of hair transplant. It was all over the paper.
Wow.
My favorite one was like TikTok heartthrob. I was like, fuck, I'll take that one. Like,
oh my God.
It's crazy the way they turn it into, isn't it?
I always wonder, like, when you go for a job, like, and you're like, I really want to work for the Daily Mail, like, what do you do? Are they like, right, your job is to sit on social media and just watch everyone's stories and then make a story out of it? Like, do you think that's what the job description is? Like, just create a story out of nothing?
It might be, and like that's probably where they get their content as well. Like even one of my podcasts when season 1 was with Brendan from Be Perfect, who owned Be Perfect, and they literally, the whole news article was just my podcast, as in like they wrote it as if it was their own article, but they just took my questions and his answers and put it into an article. I was like,
well, yeah. Do we think we're going to make the Daily Mail on this? Hey.
Chat shit with the Daily Mail in the Daily Mail. Fuck it.
Love you. Say something real nice.
I actually seen an article where they were basically talking about how, I don't know how true this is by the way, but it was an article saying that at 25 you said that you were nearly homeless.
Oh God, yeah. Well, so that's when I moved to New York. And I ran out of money, and I think what happened is I always I'm learning not to do this anymore, but when I have something so good in my life, I feel like I have to justify it by having something really shit in my life.
Okay.
So I felt like by going to New York, I have to live in a really shitty area, like, and it was the hood I was living in, to be able to go to this school because I was lucky enough to get a scholarship. That's how I felt. When, if I look at it at my 36-year-old self, I now think, actually, you worked your ass off. You had 4 jobs to go and all the rest, and life and everything else that goes with it to get to this place. But at that age, I think I was just unsure of myself. So I felt like I had to sacrifice something. So after the school, I was so desperate to stay in New York, and you can only work in as an actress because of the visa that I was on. Trying to find acting work that pays your rent, pays your lifestyle, just pays to be in New York is really, really hard when you're fresh out of school. So I took on this job that I was paid $40 a week.
A week?
$40 a week. But I just said yes. I was like, I'll do anything. I was basically a runner. I was working 17, 18 hours a day, like literally running for people getting their food, doing all the shitty jobs you can think of. That was my job. But I was just so keen to be there, and probably again ego. I was something in there that felt like, oh, I have to do this. I'm working so hard. So I was broke, and then I went for a job interview, and on the way I went to buy a suit jacket because I looked like shit, and my card declined. And in my own head, I was like, surely not. Like this, surely not. Can't be my card. Try it again. They're like, no. And I was like, okay, so I need to call the bank in England. Anyway, I had no money. I had zero money.
God.
My rent had to be paid the day after, which was $600. And I had not a penny to my name. So at that point, I was like, what do I do? Because I'm not good at asking for help. Who do I go to? I haven't got any real friends here. All my friends in school had left. They'd gone back to their countries. What the hell do I do? So I ended up calling my nanny, bless her little heart, she lives in South Africa, and asking her to withdraw the money that I would have got from her will, which she hadn't, like, so basically said, when you die, can I have the money that, and she, bless her, she only had 1,500 quid. So transferred into like dollars, I think at that point it was like $1,800, so I could pay rent for the next 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that took a process again. So that whole night, like, I mean, that, the emails back and forth, that was like 5 days. So yeah, that week was harsh. I wasn't on the street, but I was on the verge of being on the street.
Yeah, that sounds scary, to be fair. Especially being in New York on your own, like.
Oh, it's hot. Yeah, that's what I mean. But at the same time, just ask for help. If you need help, like if I'd asked my family, I was just too proud. I was like, no, I've done this. I've got to, I've got to make people proud by what? Being broke?
Yeah.
Living on the street?
Yeah.
Not really.
Definitely not. If there's help there, 100% ask it. You definitely need it as well.
Yeah.
As I was going to say, like obviously a lot of like 20 to 25-year-olds, even younger than that, are like, they have so much pressure on themselves to be also successful and like rich, and everyone's just comparing themselves to other people. And like even myself, like I find myself comparing myself to other people who maybe way more like successful when it comes to like money and business and stuff as well. And then it makes me feel shit about myself. What sort of advice would you sort of give to someone who may be 24, 25 and aren't where they think they should be?
I would work out what success means to you, because success means something different to everybody. But what we're trained to think now is that success means money. So if you're rich, you're successful. That is not the freaking case.
Absolutely not.
It could, honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said that. So I would say work out what success looks like truly deeply. Keep asking yourself why, what. Go and do some meditation to figure out, dig deep, get inside that gut of yours and figure out what it means, and then strive for that. For me, success is happiness.
Yeah.
Like money, I've been broke, I've had a bit of money, and neither of them made me happy, sad, or anything. The happiness I have now is from the life I'm living and being free and being present and being able to talk to people and listen and engage. I thrive off that. Like talking to you makes me feel happy. I'll go and talk to someone else and makes me feel happy. And then I feel successful because I've had a happy day. Does that make sense?
I love that. I'm smiling from ear to ear because I resonated with it so much, because since I came to Bali, I've obviously been doing loads of like breathwork and meditations and stuff like that. And whenever I first started trying to, when you're trying to like manifest things and you have to fully believe it and you have to feel the belief.
Yeah.
I've been trying to believe that I'm successful and I couldn't feel it. And I was like, why the fuck can I not believe in myself? Like, what is it? But it was because I was putting success in like financial things and like businesses and stuff like that there. But then I actually sat down with myself, like you said, and I was like, what is success to me? And I realized my values are like freedom, and freedom will give me happiness. And if I make enough money to have this freedom lifestyle that I want right now, that is success to me. And also having like close connections with people as well, that's part of my success as well.
Like you have a good conversation with someone, right? You go for coffee and you're like, oh, I feel so good today. Like that's not because you got money. That's because you had a great chat with someone where you were like, authenticity, vulnerability, like they're all the fun things. Money comes, money goes. And the more money you have, the more friggin' problems you have.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good answer, fair play. I know not 100% people, if you think of success is going to be an external or materialistic things, that is incorrect. Do the work on yourself, go deep, and you'll find out what your values are. I've seen on your stories a few times that you, obviously right now you're saying this is the best you felt in a long time and stuff like that there, but you sort of before struggled mentally, maybe this time last year, and like you were saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did you, like what sort of points in your life were you then, and how did you sort of overcome this? Like what sort of work did you do?
So we've all been through this pandemic, right? 2 years of absolute hell. And no one prepared us. No one said, this is going to happen, so maybe just get a bit of external help. Maybe get a therapist in place. Maybe make sure you've got a good circle of friends. No one told us what to do. Like, we went into the pandemic and it was like, well, this is quite fun. I haven't got to work. Shit, no, I have. I've got to pay rent. It was like all these like things, like different mindsets. And then a year into it, I was like, wow, I miss people. I miss everything. And then I became a bit of a recluse because I was so used to being in my own flat on my own, working. Someone will say, oh, do you want to go out? And I think, oh, no, hang on, I've got to wear a mask, I've got to do a COVID test, I've got to make sure that I'm not infecting anybody. But all these things that would go from my head, I'd just say, no, do you know what, I'm just going to stay in. So I ended up staying in and in and in and in, and then became like within. So my thoughts were the only thing that were going around my head. I was in a relationship and like God love him, but it just didn't work out. And I think that played a big part into why I fell into what I would call depression. Never had depression before, even though there's been some things in my life that would probably have triggered it beforehand. Never had it, just had moments. But this was like a year long of, I just couldn't see the light. I just went so dark, and I was like, shit, I'm the one that's like, I'm a coach. Like, I'm meant to be coaching people. I'm like teaching classes at 6 a.m. going, come on guys, let's get inspired. Thinking, I'm lying to you all, because I get off the Zoom and start crying.
Oh God, yeah.
I was crying all day. I was just like an absolute mess. And I felt helpless and didn't know what to do. And then I pushed everybody away. So I think, what changed it? I'll tell you what changed it. Fucking Siobhan O'Hagan.
Love that.
God love her. So I went to a lunch, scraped myself out of my flat, got my shit together, put a bit of makeup on, went to a lunch, and Siobhan was sat in front of me, and there was placemats, like our names are on placemats at this lunch, and I hate that, like, because I'm like, if whoever you're sat next to, you kind of just got to stay with. Anyway, Siobhan sits opposite me, and I'm like, what's this girl about? Like, she had a nice smile. And then we started chatting, and what
was this event? What was it?
It was like an influencer event,
okay,
which I always avoid as well, because I just think it's all about taking a picture, and I could not be fucked. I felt like shit. I looked,
Yeah.
you know, you're just like, I don't want any pictures. But the woman that organised it, Kate, love Kate as well, Kate Lawton. Look at all these shout outs. She's really good at like putting the right people in front of the right spaces. So I thought, I'm just going to trust in her. So I went. And anyway, yeah, me and Siobhan got chatting. 24 espresso martinis later, she was like, come to Bali. And I think she planted a seed that I was subconsciously manifesting and didn't realise it. So every decision I made after that was in August, every decision I made was short term. I wasn't committing to anything, but I didn't quite realise I was doing that, like, because it was still in the subconscious. And then around November, I just booked a flight, didn't tell anyone, booked the flight, then revealed it to the family, and they were like, firstly, you're like really, really down. Are you sure like this is the right thing to do? Stop running away from your problems. And I was like, I'm not running. Like, I am a mess. Like, if you've got shit in your pocket, it will stink anywhere you go. And I'm fully aware of that. I just need to get out of the space I'm in at the moment. I need sunshine because that makes me happy. I need vitamin D. So anyway, I left. I arrived because the quarantine messed up. I arrived on Christmas Eve, which they were all like, oh, brilliant. That's like, you don't want to spend Christmas with us, you know, flying to another country on Christmas Eve. And I was like, no, it's a 10-day quarantine. I didn't mean that to happen. Anyway, from the day I actually got to the hotel quarantine in Jakarta was when I started to see the light, because I just knew that whatever was ahead of me can't get any worse than the headspace I was in already.
Okay.
And yeah, each day just got better and better. Even 10 days in quarantine in a box room, I was happier than I was in my London flat.
Oh my God, yeah.
And now I don't even recognise that girl. 4 months ago that was. I don't even recognise who she was.
I love that. And did you realise that Bali was like so spiritual and it would be good for you to do all this work and stuff? Did you know that before you went, or?
No, I had not. I knew it had an energy, but I didn't know what. I didn't know what to expect. So then when I got to Ubud, I started freaking out because I was hearing all these voices, and like I felt like people prodding me in my sleep, and I was like literally swearing in the hotel room, going, "Can everyone fuck off and stop talking to me? Like, if you're a spirit or whatever you are, stop fucking delivering messages through me, because I don't want to deliver your message." I would be swearing in this hotel room, thinking, who can I tell this to in London that's going to actually understand? And then when you reveal that stuff in Bali, you know, everyone gets it. They're like, oh, yeah, you got chat to, you've had download, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't even know what these words, download, spirituality, even really meant.
Oh, so you weren't spiritual at all before you came to Bali, really?
My family are psychic, but they don't entertain it.
Okay.
So because they just don't. They're just not like that. So there was always something. But in London, you have to close your chakras. You have to protect yourself constantly, because it's such a heavy energied city and negative. So if you leave your door and you're open, like if I've done a meditation and I'm all wide open and I leave my house my flat in London and go to work, I will pick up on everyone else's energy, and I'm an empath anyway.
Yes, same.
So by the time I've got to work, I'm exhausted, I feel emotional, and I don't really know, like, I can't function properly. So you learn to just close yourself off. So you're like this all the time. Whereas in Bali, everyone's open and everyone's nice.
Yeah.
And they're kind.
Okay, everyone's so lovely, aren't they?
Open. Yeah. So when you stay open all the time, do you know what I mean? You just feel free and happy.
You do. You feel very free here. And that's one thing I noticed as well with, like, different places. I've noticed recently that whenever you go to different areas, you can feel the heaviness of the energy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you go to Ubud, you're so, like, it's so light. But then when you come back to Canggu, you can feel it's a bit more heavier because there's a lot more, like, people and energies. And
then you kind of, like, in a good way, you're like, okay, let me just close a couple. Like, I'm going to protect certain chakras. You have to close all of them because there's still a nice space.
Oh, I need to learn how to do that.
Really, it's a traffic light system. That's the only way I can recognise it. It's just like literally green, amber, and red.
Oh,
and
so you just visualise, like, closing them off?
Yeah, just kind of like protecting, especially my heart, because I'm like, that needs a little bit of love. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep protecting you. And then, you know, the right person that comes along, the right man, can have
Cute.
my heart.
I love it. I know even when you were talking about, like, spirits and stuff talking to you, I was talking to one of my mates yesterday, and I was like, mate, I'd be like, I see spirits behind me sometimes and stuff, and he was like, what are you on about? I was like, I done a breathwork the other day, and I was, you know, the way people have different auras and different coloured auras. When I was in the breathwork, I started opening my eyes, and I could see everyone's coloured aura around them, and I was like, that's fucking nuts. I was like, what the hell? And I could see, like, green like energy or aura around my hands, and I think that shows that I've got healing hands. I've had that a few times. But then I was like, could you imagine if I want to talk about it more, and I'm like, people are going to think I'm fucking crazy.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. They'll be sat here in fucking hippie pants. Like, if I go back to England, I mean, yours is tie-dye as well. If I go back to England in with this vibe, oh my God, my friends can be like, Han, go back to Bali.
I know.
Like, listen,
I'm barefoot 24/7. I walk around restaurants, shops, everything, no shoes on, ever.
No.
And if I walk around, people are like, he needs to be checked into the
Yeah,
mental hospital.
Exactly.
I love it. So obviously you came to Bali, you've been here 4 months now, and you've done a few different like ceremonies and things together. What sort of like things did you take away from any of the ceremonies, or what sort of ceremonies did you love the most? Or
So I didn't really, so breathwork's been a real life changer.
Same.
I didn't even really understand what meditation was. Like, my sister does it and I would always be a bit like, what's she doing? Like, she's closing her eyes, her legs crossed, her arms up, like, what's she fucking playing at? And I've done yoga for 12 years, so I think I was always meditating, but I didn't realise I was doing it, because you meditate in yoga. And then I took some meditation classes here, and I think it's like anything, the more you practice, the more you understand it and the more you get something from it. And it was the same with the breath work. Like, when people say, oh, go to breath work, I think, oh, fuck off. Like, you know, I just...
That was the same as me. So I would see like Nicole doing breath work and I'd be like, what really is that? Like, it doesn't really... Like, before I even knew what it was, I judged it for some reason.
100%, yeah.
And then when I actually done it, I was like, I understand why people do this. Every single time I've got like a message from myself that it will benefit my life.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's free. There's no drugs, there's no nothing involved. It's free. It is breathing. You're breathing, inhaling and exhaling, and then stuff happens. And that's what I almost like can't get my head around. I did a class yesterday, and I literally said to the woman, she gave us this cacao stuff.
I just messaged her.
Did you? She's amazing. Jamie,
on
another one. Another shout out. Jamie Janko, another one. they're not paying me to do this. Yeah, she did. She gave me this cacao, and I said to her, I was like, "Did you put something in the cacao?" And she was like, "I promise you, I didn't." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm high." She's like, "No, you're just high vibe. Like, this is like." And I was like, "I want to capture this feeling and put it in a little Tupperware box forever, because this is like." It's just special how I feel right now. And she's like, good, get a Tupperware box, put it in a Tupperware. And I've actually been doing that, like breathing into Tupperware.
Oh, I love it.
This sounds really mental.
No, it sounds good.
But
I love it.
I feel like we all have a tool belt, and sometimes you have to like grab the different tool. Like, it might be a therapist, it might be a chat with a friend, it might be a walk in the park. And I now have the Tupperware to add to that, because I capture happy moments and breathe into the Tupperware box.
I love that idea.
And then when I need a happy moment, just open Tupperware, sniff it.
I love it. I do.
Get yourself some Tupperware.
What did you experience in your breathwork yesterday that made you think you were high?
It was it took so long to sort of almost come back down to planet Earth, if that's what, I don't even know how to describe it, because I was so deep into it. Like, I don't think I've ever gone that deep. Whenever I sort of meditate, I close my eyes and I almost stare at my eyelids, because I don't really know what to do. I'm still learning what meditation is. So I just stare at my eyelids and I see visions and whatnot. But with this, I didn't even choose to do that. I was like past the eyelids. Does that make sense? Like, I felt like I was like way in my head.
Oh my
like
God.
I was so far back that I was tapping into craziness, and I just kept seeing this image of a guy, actually, and I don't know who this guy is. Really don't, but I feel like he's going to turn up in my life.
Was he fit?
He was fucking sexy. No, I don't. I just remember what he looked like, and I know that he'll turn up, because why would I have his image? He might be in a movie, and I'll be like, oh, he was in my dream or my vision, but he'll turn up, and maybe he's my boyfriend. No.
Husband. It's your soulmate. Do you believe in soulmates?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Have you ever seen sort of like, obviously you're like a waitress for all these dates. Do you ever see like the spark or the energy between people when they're on their first dates or anything like that?
Yes, and I love it. And I now feel that after this Bali experience, I'm going to see it in a heightened state now, like even more, because you're not just seeing body language, you're seeing energy. Like, now I can see that energy between people. Yeah. Whereas before I was just like, oh, he fancies her, or she fancies him. But now I'm like, oh no, that's their energy. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
But you really can. Like, I actually had on my podcast, we had a body language expert, and she was telling us like what people do, and like subconsciously and consciously. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a flirt.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
I didn't realise all the stuff I do is like really, really flirty. But apparently, yeah, on a date, I'm like if I like play with my hair, or like especially here, because it draws attention to your boobs, whereas I do that all the time.
And you didn't even realise?
Well, maybe I do, but I didn't. It was like, maybe it's subconscious.
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
like, look at my tits.
Today's.
So yeah, I do pick up on it, and it's actually one of my favourite parts of the job is when they walk in. So on the show, they have, if you haven't seen it, there's a moment where someone waits at the bar and someone walks into the restaurant and then they get guided to this person. And this whole like, is it you I'm on a date with? Was it you? And they all have this awkward walk. And then it's like, what do you do? Do you hug? Do you kiss? Do you shake hands? And now with COVID on top, where everyone's doing the elbow stuff and, no one knows whether to hug each other anymore.
Oh, yeah, shit.
It is another level of awkward, and I love it.
You love the awkwardness?
It's brilliant because I'm the same.
Are all the dates really awkward? Or some of them?
Some people, because you might have like, so Fred, the guy that works on the show, he's like the maitre d'. He's very good at taking control. Like, he's French, right? So he does the 2 kisses. If someone says to me, you're going to kiss this guy twice, I think, oh my God, what side am I going to go first? Where? Is it like there? Is it there? Like, where do we kiss? But he takes control. Like, even when he meets me, he's like, oh, Cici, and he kiss. And I'm like, you fully took control of that, thank God, because otherwise I probably would have snogged you. So I think one person takes control. Like, if you've got that, it's not awkward. But when you've got 2 people that just don't know what to do, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it.
You love it?
Yes.
Has there been any like crazy things happen in any of these dates throughout the years?
There's been, I think what always, I just never understand it is, well, I do understand it, but when they know each other. So like, say you're waiting for your dream man, and then we have done all the research, 6 months worth of trying to find your dream man, and then you know him. And you're like, oh my God, we've been on a date.
Does it happen to be gay couples?
Yeah, no, not just gay couples.
Okay.
No, I mean like everyone. But that also shows how good, not I say we, but like the First Dates team are, because they are trying to find your perfect match. You've already dated them. It means that we're on the right track. Does that make sense? Because we're getting someone that you already fancied before. It's annoying because they're like, for fuck's sake, I've come on a date and now you found like matey boy who I've already dated. But it does happen. It's a small world, and
it is a small world, massively.
We even had it in Italy. Like, we flew people out to Italy. We had First Dates hotel. Guy walked in and the girl was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, I know him, like, I've dated him, I've shagged him, like, I'm like, sorry, do I shag him again?
Do people ever end up staying together from the show? Do you know?
Yeah,
right?
we have babies, marriages.
Shut up.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
So at Christmas we have like a special and we bring everyone back that have been successful.
That's mad.
It's really nice.
Oh my God, that's so good, actually.
It makes me feel, I'm like, we did
You're
that.
a matchmaker.
Like, yeah,
I love it.
We did it. Yeah.
Dating something that I need to start doing. I just don't go on dates ever.
You need some tips, Hans.
I literally don't do it. I think I've went on like 2 dates in my entire life.
Oh my God, dating is so fun.
I don't know if it's a thing in Ireland. Is it a thing in Ireland? I don't know if it is.
Yeah, but I hear this a lot, that people haven't dated before. And I'm like, so hang on, how do you meet people? And it's like, meet them out and then go home with them, or meet them out and then, well, then go home with them. Like, that's it, right?
More or less.
But the fun part is getting to know someone. Like, what do you love doing? Talking to people.
Yeah.
Having coffee dates. Like,
I love it.
going to Uber, doing, like, meeting people and being present with them.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that with a partner.
I know, I'd love that, to be fair. I might start going on dates, put myself out there.
Imagine if
Rip
your
the Band-Aid
partner
off.
said, how do you fancy doing some eye gazing? Like, do you know what I mean? But like,
Why is the eye gaze?
Well, no, but like, how weird would that? Like 4 months ago, I'd have been like, oh, fuck off. But so eye gazing is when you basically stare at someone, you sit in opposite and you stare. It sounds really weird, but fuck me, does it connect you with someone, right? Like, if you must have done it in the classes where. Have you ever done it before? It was just me.
With my ex, probably, aye.
What? Start eye gazing?
With just like staring at the eyes.
No, so it's like a technique to like. It's when you like almost like see into their soul.
Oh really? No, I've never done that.
So Kerry
Coleman, shout out.
Love her. So there's another lady at Yoga Barn, Kerry. She does this session and it's eye gazing. So you do it with a complete stranger in class, and then you feel so connected. You feel.
Oh,
like,
it's an actual class in Yoga Barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Monday and Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Kerry at the Yoga Barn.
Might go.
And you do it, and you feel like you've seen inside them. You feel like you've seen something that they will never share. And also you give that back too. You end up crying because you're just like so involved in it. It's amazing.
That's mad.
I know. And then Kerry said at the end, she was like, imagine doing that with your partner, like how connected and how good the sex would be. Because it's almost like a form of foreplay if you're doing it with someone you fancy.
Oh my God. So anyone in a relationship with a partner, start eye gazing?
Start eye gazing.
Yeah, I think I just need to rip the Band-Aid off. I think I've got a bit of, what's the word? Dick fright? I don't know.
Dick fright.
Or just, I think I just need to rip the Band-Aid off and put myself in my comfort zone and go on a date or something. Cause
maybe you need to ask, because if you're always waiting for someone to ask you or waiting for that thing to happen, maybe you just need to Like, we can all do that, right? So I could sit back and be like, my dream man will come to me when it's the right time. Oh, fuck off. Like, I need to do my own work too. Do you know what I mean? Can't wait for everyone to come to me in the bar.
True.
I need to go to them, which I've never done before.
I also think I'm a massive avoidant.
I am with stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do the whole thing of like, if I fancy someone, I won't talk to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or in school, like, it's that thing, you know, when you like push the boys because you're like, oh, fancy, so I push you. Like, bully them.
Oh, no, I mean, like, an avoidant. There's this book, I can't remember what it's called. Is it Lost? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like an avoidant is like, so you say you fancy someone, you're going to go on a date with them, but then you are avoiding a relationship, but not realizing you're doing it, and you try and pick out things that are wrong with them. So that means you don't like them.
Okay, so I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of avoidance,
So
especially in Bali. Yes.
Definitely.
Find the problem. But then, But then you know what you're doing.
Just don't do
it.
Just don't do it.
Because also the thing with that is, and I've done it as well, you find all these problems and then you end up dating them. And then you're like, oh, fuck. I've like literally slagged him off to like the worst thing I can say so that everybody hates him, so that I can't date him. And then you're like, oh, now I love him.
Oh, shit.
Now, yeah.
Have you ever been on any really bad dates?
I got catfished.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this was the first date after lockdown, so it was a bit shit because I was quite excited to go out and just literally step outside. And yeah, he was a real catfish. And then I also paid for the whole date, so his card didn't work. That was pretty shit.
Was it like an actual different person?
No, it was the same guy, but just he was not his pictures.
Okay.
I felt a bit pissed off because I was like, mate, I've spent 2 hours getting ready. Like, it's the first day that I've seen someone after lockdown. And
did you say anything to him?
No, I didn't. I spent 3 hours on the date and paid for everything.
You're a catfish, mate.
So desperate.
I got age fished once. I got age fished. Age fished? Is that a thing?
Yeah, age fist.
Just some guy. I think I just made that up. Did I just make that up?
I like it. Let's start using it.
Some guy just pretended he was older, but he followed me on TikTok or whatever, pretended he didn't know who I was, but then also pretended he was older, but he actually was only like 17. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, absolutely not. But then I think he was trying to like, don't know, he was trying to like take pictures of me like on a date with him and shit. Not really on a date, we're like on a night out. And then I was like, he's just weird. Get away from me.
Was he trying to take pictures because of TikTok?
I think so. I don't know, because of TikTok or because he was trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, to be honest. But whenever he told me his age then, I was like, right, you need to go. But he had no money to go home, so I paid like 50 quid to put him in a taxi to wherever he was from.
What are we like? So basically, we're doing the same thing. Yeah.
Oh my god. So obviously you've done like the yoga. We done the waterfall cleanse. How did you find that? I loved it.
That was another experience that I had no expectations of. Actually didn't know what to make of that. But we did a waterfall and you basically get cleansed, and that's all I heard is we're gonna get cleansed, and I was like, cleanse the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah. Whatever
that means. And yeah, we had a guide, and he just said some things that really hit the hammer on the nail. Is that the right? Yeah, hammer on the nail.
Hammer on the head.
Hammer on the head. He hit spot. He basically, he was great, wasn't he?
He was brilliant, yeah.
And I mean, I was exhausted after because I think I was so emotionally charged.
Yeah.
But again, trying to explain that right now is hard. Trying to explain that back in like London, that people would be like, okay, yeah, cool, you went to a waterfall, yeah. But no, I screamed into a waterfall. Like, it was so much more than that.
You have to actually live and experience it, because I actually uploaded a Ubud vlog yesterday, and I was basically explaining my experiences with all like the breathworks and the sound healings and the waterfalls and stuff. And when I was explaining it, I kept stopping myself. I was like, guys, just let you know, like, I'm not crazy. Like, I actually did experience this. Like, do you know what I mean? But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, you kind of pinch yourself. You're like, oh god, I just sound like, you know. But I always think as well, there's some things that are just, you know, when you sort of look at someone and you both know, and you're like, we don't even need to explain this. Like, we just, it's just a Bali thing.
You can feel it.
Like, I think some of the stuff that happens here is special, and it's special enough to keep for either between you and that moment, or you and those people. Do you know what I mean? Because not everything needs to be shared, because not everyone's going to understand, and that's when we get judged.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's what I'm a bit scared of, because I love talking about like my spirituality and stuff. But
yeah, but you do it very well. Like, you're very engaging, and like you explain it in detail. Like, you don't skip from A to Z like I do all the time. You're like, this is A, B, C, D. So you're like step by step. So I'm like, I'm following you. I understand what you're saying. Whereas I can't do that.
I know. I'm just like, fuck. I'm definitely sounding like a lunatic. So then obviously you've got things going on apart from the TV show. You've got your own podcast. You've got your coaching business. How do you find all that?
I love podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely skipped school, and I think I have this fear of like when I have to like write or type or anything that reminds me of education, I'm like, oh, it freaks me out. Whereas podcasting or talking to camera on Instagram, it feels very natural because I just get to speak my truth. So podcasting I think is I can't believe how much like how it's just like skyrocketed and gone from like, no, we listen to music now, we'll listen to podcasts. Like,
I love it.
It is amazing, isn't it? So yeah, I love my podcast. I get to like be me. I have a great host that I work with, and I just get to like get to the nitty gritty of things, and it feels really freeing to be able to do that.
Yeah, I actually like listening to your wee clips. How do you end up doing it with Pete Wicks from Towie? And then how did you end up like randomly like right us to do the podcast together?
So Pete came on to First Dates, the hotel one in Italy.
Okay.
And so that if anyone watches the show, you'll probably know Merlin, lovely Merlin, who's the bartender. He usually like almost like interviews the people that come on the dates, and we'll just ask a bit about their life. And I got to do it that day with Pete. So I learned loads about him, and I was like, this guy is really cool. Like, he's got a lot more to him than just this Towie perception.
Yeah. Anyway,
Didn't think anything else of it. And then I was working with this radio station who said, we're finally ready to do this dating podcast. Who do you want as a co-host? And we found this YouTuber guy, actually, who's brilliant, like a comedian guy. And then he had another podcast coming out. So anyway, Pete comes along. And at first I was, same thing, I was like, here we fucking go. Like, how is this going to go? Because I'm like, the extreme difference from Pete. But that's exactly why it works.
Yeah, I was thinking that's probably why it works.
Yeah. And he is fucking awesome. Like, he's got your back. Like, he supports you. Like, if you fuck up, he'll fuck up more just to make you feel okay. Like,
yeah.
He's just like he's a really good mate.
I just had a flashback. I remember actually meeting him before. I was an extra on Towie.
Whenever
I was like 19, I'd done a season in Marbella, and they had like The Only Way is Marbs.
Oh my god, yeah.
I just had a flashback of me being all that and meeting him. I just remember thinking he's unreal looking.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah, stunning.
He is beautiful. I mean, he doesn't struggle with the ladies.
I'd say not.
No, he doesn't. And
I actually listened to your podcast the other day with Summer, my friend out here in Bali, and he didn't turn up for the episode. I was like, as if that's the only episode I probably listened to fully.
Yeah.
But I want to listen to more. They're very interesting. I enjoy listening to it.
We have really good subjects, really, like every subject. So our producer picks the subjects, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know anything about this. This is amazing. I guess the good part is that you don't have to know everything you're talking about, because we then get a guest on who explains it way better than we ever can. So we talk about like toxic masculinity. We talk about everything you can think of. We cover in the kind of dating realm of things, and I learned so much from my own podcast, if that makes sense, because of the guests that we have on.
That's what I love doing with this podcast too. I always learn so much from everyone I'm talking to. I'm like, because you actually, maybe in Bali I have deep, meaningful, substantial conversations, but before that I've never actually, you don't sit down with someone for like an hour and like talk about like all this here interesting stuff about their lives and about like life lessons and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
What have you any sort of guest in mind or any sort of episode in mind where like, oh my God, that was like my favorite episode?
I always refer back to him, but I think I just love him. So Paul Brunson, who works on Celebs Go Dating, he's one of the whatever you want to call them, therapists, coaches on the show, and he just has so much wisdom. Like he's done the work. You know, when someone's like done it and then experienced it, and like his life journey has been like, he's gone from like being like, you know, in the ghetto and then to like the top of his game in his in TV, and he's just, I don't know, I just think I really connected with what he was saying, and he's very good with people, so he picks up on what you need, and then he'll just give you a little nugget, and then give you a little nugget, and you end up feeling really special after you've spoken to him. So that was probably the most memorable one, and I think I learned most because I was really listening to what he was talking about, relationships and like how to find your match, and I was just like, okay, so I find my match and this is what I got to do, blah blah blah, even though I work on a show that is exactly the same, but I was like, I just learned a lot from him. So Paul Brunson would be
very nice. I've seen recently you're talking about like how balance is so important to you. Obviously you like going out and partying, but you also like to work and exercise and all that there.
Yes.
How do you sort of get the balance, and how do you like realise this is what you need to do to sort of live a happy life?
Fuck it all up in your 20s and then get it right in your 30s. That's the short of it. No, I think I've done the reverse. So I think I partied hard enough in my 20s.
Oh, really?
So I really, really don't. I don't think I went out enough. I think I was sensible Sally, always trying to, because I never had money. So I was like, I always just felt like I had to work just to like, my family doesn't have money. I just didn't know what that was. So I was always just work. And so I guess when I got to my 30s and I got a proper job and like my coaching now is my job. So I have something that I can, it pays my rent. So I feel a bit more comfortable about it. So now I can go out and I can experience things in a nicer way. So I think the balance is, you can eat well, you can get your sleep, drink your bloody water, and then that allows you to free up at the weekend and do what you want. Exercise, get the happy endorphins, your body moving, because this will free up what you need to be able to go out again like every weekend, if that's what you want.
That's what you want, yeah.
I think it depends on where you're at and what you want in your life. Like, you've also got to look at things like, if I say I'm going out every single weekend, every day of the week, and I'm looking for a partner, is my partner going to think she's the one for me? Like, I want a girl that goes out every single night. Someone might want that.
Yeah.
But is that sustainable? Is that, I'm in my 30s. Like, there are things to think about, but at the moment, for me, where I'm at right now, I guess I've turned it all within. So I'm looking at what I need, and what I want is just to put myself first and priority for a while. And then if someone comes along, brilliant. If he doesn't, I'm happy.
And do you feel like, because you are maybe in your 30s, do you think there might be like a pressure from society to sort of, like, obviously some people, like the old society would probably be like, right, you have to be married at a certain age, have kids at a certain age. Do you think there's still that pressure, or you're just like, fuck it, I do what I want?
I think there's pressure for people, but for me, if I was living in Oxford, yes, because all my friends in Oxford they're married with kids and the Range Rover and the mortgage and whatnot. But because I moved to London, I met a bunch of women who are okay not to have that. So I was like, oh, like I remember going on a date with this guy, this was when I was 31, and I always told everyone that I wanted a baby. So I was like, that's what you should say. Like, I was like, how many kids do you want? 2, because there's me and my, you just end up saying what your parents have got. And then this guy was like, don't know if I want kids. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, like, yeah.
Love that.
So then I would say the same. I'd be like, I don't know, like, I think I do, but I'm also okay with not knowing.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, I think you have to. Like, there is pressure, but that's if you choose to take it on. Like, I just turn that pressure away, and I'm like, no, I'm going to live my life. Because if I feel pressured, I'll step back. So.
And I just think go with the flow, see what happens. Like, everyone's in a different timeline. Just don't compare yourself with other people, and just do what you need to do for you. Listen,
if I was married with kids and fucking in a house and all that shit now, I would be the worst mum, the worst wife, the worst homeowner. I would be the worst version of me. So it's better that I do what I need to do first, and then I'll be fucking great.
I love that. And we're going to do this is like a quick fire round of questions from Instagram, and then we're going to do, so on TikTok there's like this trend at the minute where people are doing the rules for dating and what you would want from your partner, so we'll do that at the end.
Okay.
But we'll do a wee quick fire round. So this is a few questions from me / a few questions from social media. So I was going to ask about, I seen something where you said that you were comparing yourself to other people and then you unfollowed loads of people. What made you come to that decision?
Oh shit, yeah, I remember that. That was when my depression had got really bad, and I was waking up on social media, in like the first thing I would do is straight my phone, look at other people's lives that looked fabulous on holidays, skiing, doing all these things, and I get FOMO, really, really bad FOMO. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to stop worrying about following people. I know this is a quick fire question, but I do think this is really, really important. Don't stress about following people. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a click of a button. Like, they don't care about you. They really, really don't. So I unfollowed everyone apart from dogs.
Oh yeah.
Because I wasn't strong enough to not go off my phone in the morning, but I was strong enough to unfollow people. So the first thing I would see in the morning is fucking puppies. So how happy. It just upgraded my life. Yeah, some people got shitty about it, but they're the people I didn't need in my life.
Yeah, 100%. I really rate that. I might start doing that myself, because there's a few people on there that's like...
I mean, now we've got the mute button. That's just great. Mute, and then they don't know. But, you don't have to follow everyone that follows you back. Like, 100%. I don't even have notifications on my phone, so I wouldn't know who follows... Sick. No idea if someone's followed me. And then, like, I don't know, they might tag me on something, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not following you. And then I'm like, well, I don't know you.
Yeah.
You
I know. I feel like I want to sort of sort mine that people actually know because I'm not seeing stuff that people actually care about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really matter. One thing you love about yourself.
The first thing that came to my head is my hair.
I love it.
Not today, right? This is the wet look. This is straight out the shower. But my hair has saved me through lots of different situations. Like, I mean, at the moment, I am the most unfit I've ever been, but I also don't give a fuck because I'm the happiest I've been.
I love that.
But my hair, usually, like, even if I feel like shit and I curl my hair, I'm like, do you know what? My fucking hair's curly.
I love it. Vibe. You do very pretty hair.
Oh, thank you.
Ideal date.
I would say Bali vibes would be a walk on the beach with a fucking decent ass coffee.
Coffee here's class.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. What's your favourite coffee shop in Bali? Do you have one?
I slagged off Revolver for ages, but now I really like them because they do double shots. I didn't realise you can get double shots.
Okay.
So now I get a double shot.
Yeah, mine's Anomaly and then Revolver.
I haven't been to Anomaly yet.
Oh my god, are you joking? It's the best coffee.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to go.
Yeah,
It's my
just
last
down
day
there.
tomorrow.
It's amazing. I go there every morning.
Okay.
Advice to your 25-year-old self?
Just trust in the process. Trust that you will be absolutely fucking fine. Take every experience, learn from it, because even the arseholes, even all the fucking arseholes, just learn from it because you needed to do it. You need to do whatever's happening in that moment is what's meant to happen, and what's for you will not pass you. So if the good things are in your life, don't worry about sticking and trying and begging for them because they will stay if they're meant to stay.
I love that. That's a really good answer. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, 100%. Your favourite thing about living in Bali?
Oh, the beach, the sun, my motorbike when I'm driving along.
That's the best thing, isn't it? When you're driving around on a motorbike, I love it. The gratitude, the tunes playing, I'm just like...
Yeah. When you do it with a group as well, like I love like driving with people, you just follow them. The ease of everything, the way that you can text someone and say you're free in 10 minutes and they're like, yeah, let's go for coffee, like that.
That's sick,
too many, but
that's loads, that's brilliant. You can see your face just lighting up. I'm like, I love it. Where is next on your travels, if you have anywhere in mind?
Europe. So I'm going to go back to England tomorrow. Fuck me. And then I am going to do Europe for summer. So anywhere. I'm going to go to Ibiza. I'm going to go to Portugal. I'm going to go to Italy. Just wherever.
I love that.
Wherever people are, I'm going to be. My thing is just say yes, because yes serves me very, very well.
I love that. I'm thinking I might go to Europe towards the end of the summer.
See you there.
Nice. My family are coming out here in July, and then after that, I'll see what happens. I'll reevaluate my situation.
Oh, and Ireland. I have to go to Ireland because I'm basically Irish now, if no one can tell. I have to go to Ireland because it's embarrassing that I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
And I am now basically Irish because all you guys. There's about 94 Irish people.
There's literally so many Irish people, and there's like a few English people in the groups. They're just.
It's not Bali, it's Ireland.
And what are you excited about going home?
Oh, fuck. Seeing my sister, reconnecting with her, giving her the biggest fucking hug she's just going to be knocked out by. Seeing the little 2 French bulldogs that I look after, walking around Clapham Common with a coffee.
Love that. Very nice. I actually love London, you know. I used to think I had a bad impression of it when I was younger because I'd done my like uni placement in London and I was there for like a couple of months and I just had a bad experience because the people weren't nice and like things like that. But recently in the past year or so I've been flying over for like work and stuff and I was like, oh my god, I fucking love this place. Like I love it.
You have to give it a chance and you also have to like settle into it. When I first moved, I had no friends in London, so I hated it because I just didn't have people. And then same thing, you have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to actually ask people, do you want to go for a drink with me?
Yeah.
Do you want to be my friend? You know, in school you pass someone your pencil and then your mates. Here you have to be an adult about it and say, do you want to go for a drink? Like
put yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's play a wee rules for dating. I've actually seen this trend on TikTok this morning. I was like, oh my god, let's do that.
Okay.
So I'll basically say something and you have to say what your thoughts are on it. So if your partner doesn't share their location with you,
and I have to say my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Depends what they are. I mean, like,
yeah.
Are we meeting, or are we like? Is he like? Am I stalking him? Like, what? Stalking? Stalking, definitely. He should share his location.
What would your thoughts be on having each other's passwords for social media?
I wouldn't want my partner to have mine. No, I think there's some things you just keep separate because you trust each other.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's no fucking need.
No need at all. Do you care about the person's height?
I'm very attracted to tall men. However, the person I might end up with might not be.
Yeah. And what about weight?
I think they have to be like healthy because I'm healthy sometimes.
Healthy is a good word. I like that.
Yeah, healthy, just healthy, whatever that means, healthy.
Yeah. So does it matter who he's friends with?
No, as long as that like you're not influenced by, like, if you've got a mate that, you know, goes and shags those women behind his wife's back, you know, it's not going to be like I'm not going to love that. But if you've got trust in the relationship, you have whatever circle around you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, your circle is feeding you as well. So
100%. Who you surround yourself with is who you're the average of.
Ew.
Doesn't matter if your friends like him.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. I've been there when my friends hate my exes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exes.
Exes, all of them. Because they're assholes, you know. And then it's just like, let's have dinner together. It's awkward.
What would you think of him having a girl best friend?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would have struggled with that. And again, I'm learning to trust. Having all my ex-boyfriends cheat on me, it's been difficult to get to that point of trust.
Oh yeah,
but
that's hard.
Yeah, but then you have to. If I want an adult relationship, I've got to trust again. So talk about it. You know, communicate it. I have to communicate that I have trust issues.
Yeah.
And then maybe he'll step in and be like, he'll just know what to do to manage it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good answer. What about lying? If you caught him out, maybe saying wee white lies or a big lie, like what would your thoughts on lying?
Lying is a big one. No, I think because once you tell one lie, it can break all the trust. It doesn't matter black, white, blue, green kind of lie. Lying is a no for me.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd rather hear like the truth and deal with it, like even if it's horrible, than believe a lie.
Yeah, 100%. And then they'll just break the trust and you won't want that.
Yeah.
Partying. What's your views on him partying?
As long as he parties with me.
Yes, love that answer. Smoking.
No, I can't stand the smell.
Rotten.
No, it goes in my hair.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do have the odd cig when I'm out, but then the next day I'm like, get that away from me, it's disgusting.
It's the hair thing, it clings to hair. So
really?
Then when you're in bed and you think you're fresh, you're like, ugh, and I'm not.
Disgusting. Does their style matter to you?
5 years ago, yeah. Now, like, obviously, like, you know, you can guide people to look nice, right? You can guide them if they're wearing really shit clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love it if he was tall, stylish, and, you know, and all those things, but who you fall in love with is usually not what you think you want.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. I think that's something I use for my avoidant personality, because like I would like to say that style doesn't matter, but then I'm like attracted to someone if they've got really cool style, and like if someone's attractive but I don't like their style, it sort of puts me off. It's weird.
Same. I'm the exact same, but then look at the fucking state of me today.
I think it's a vibe.
Whereas, but like, imagine my partner judges me on that, like, oh, look at her in her fucking hippie trousers, £3. Like, then I'd be like, fuck off, this is me comfortable.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
fair.
So no.
People probably think my style's a bit crazy, but I love it, it's me. And travel, does it matter if they want to travel or not?
I think that's very important now. Again, a year ago, no, but now, because I just want to travel. Like, I need someone that's like
Same.
has a job that they can digitally work from or whatever.
Same. That's like my biggest thing in a guy. If they have to want to travel.
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse than. I can't even think about it. Staying in England for a whole year. Woo! No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Right, so that's the end of the round. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I know the time's up. I could talk for a lot more.
Keep talking.
We're 20 minutes over.
Quickfire questions.
Hello. But yeah, one thing I would like to end on is, what are you grateful for right now? Because I love seeing you talk about how your gratitude and how you're grateful for so many things all the time.
Oh my God, I'm just grateful for this fucking headspace that I had no idea that I had the capacity to reach. I'm so grateful for finding happiness again.
Oh, I've got goosebumps everywhere. That's class. I love that. Great way to end the episode. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. That was a great wee chat. If you what's your social media, or for anyone who wants to sort of find you on socials?
Cici_Coleman_.
That was very good.
Oh, thank
You very much. That was a nice wee chat. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
I love doing podcasts.
I could have talked way more as well, but I was looking at the time and I was like, fuck it. So that is it, peeps. Thank you so much for listening to that episode and tuning in. I really hope you took something from that conversation with Cici, and I'm sure you've had a few laughs as well. Like, Cici is a funny fucking bitch. I love her. I miss her. I can't wait to see her again because it's been a few weeks since she's actually left Bali since I recorded this. Do not forget, guys, if you want to get your hands on the Breathwork meditation course by Sinead Haig, all you have to do is type in Kegs10 when you're checking it online. It could be for you, for a friend, for anyone. Like, we all will benefit from meditating. It can change your life, no joke. And don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, do all the good shit. It would mean the absolute world to me. If you took something from this podcast and you think that someone else might take something from it too, tell a friend, tell a family member, share it in your story. Like, I'd really appreciate that also. So yeah, much love. So next week we have the absolute legend herself, Sinead Haig, who is the sponsor of this podcast. So we have an incredible chat. Like, I was absolutely over the moon whenever I got Sinead on the podcast, so you'll absolutely love that one. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.